Talkshit Radio is a Kennedy Studios Productions. The opinions stated by various contributors to Talkshit Radio and its radio programs are not to be considered as or endorsed by Kennedy Studios Incorporated. Visitors are urged to use their own discretion to draw their own conclusions. All information, products, services, and use of this website is for entertainment purposes only and personal use only. Talkshit Radio Network does not confirm nor deny the validity or accuracy of the information contained within the website or broadcast. Any services or products provided by Talkshit Radio Network and its host contributors should be used solely for entertainment purposes only.
This is Lewis, and you're listening to Talkshit Radio.
You want to get high?
Are you a pothead, fucker?
Oh, man. I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.
It's Laura. Let's talk some shit.
Michael Minardi. I'm the campaign manager of Regulate Florida, who's going to be actively seeking to put adult use of cannabis on the 2016 ballot. Why? Regulate Florida. I am putting myself out of a job by doing this. I am a criminal defense attorney. My main practice is representing people arrested of marijuana offenses, and I'm sick of it. These are good, hardworking people whose lives are turned upside down by a cannabis arrest, threat, DCF involvement, or other type of sanctions that is coming against them for using cannabis. We want to bring together the people of Florida. We want all the patients, all the users of cannabis to step up and let their voice be heard. Stop being afraid of being persecuted because of speaking out. We need you to stand up. We need you to help out because we need action right now and not apathy. With doing this, we can change the world and we can change the state of Florida for the better.
Hey, welcome to Talkshit Radio Network, everyone. You're listening to Talkshit Radio. Of course, what else would you be listening to on Talkshit Radio Network? For now, that'll all change. Now, first thing I want to talk about is how fucking tired I am, because holy shit. I haven't gone to work and actually done any manual labor in probably quite some time, but my daughter's boyfriend, Hayden, works with his father with their construction company, and he needed some help. So I did it. And it looks like it might turn into a bit of a regular thing here, at least finish this job that we're working on, and then we'll see how it goes. But I got to tell you, I'm hurting. I'm sore as hell. Speaking of which, Michelle, will you get me my baclofen and my gabapentin? It was quite a day. It was interesting to see what we did, and it was pretty cool. Enough of that, though. We're going to get right into the news because I got a lot of it. So let me get my glasses on and let's rock and roll. All right, so right out of Hernando County, first story I've got up is Hernando County Teacher of the Year, barely out of school himself. Brandon Wright has only been teaching for 6 years, but in those 6 years, he had a big impact on his students at Springstead High School. And that's the end of that story because I don't feel like reading any more of that because it's boring. And we don't want to read boring shit because I got so much other cool shit to read. Now, I'm wondering if everybody knows about the flight of the whooping cranes and all of that kind of good stuff. Here in Hernando County, we have a gentleman who takes his ultralight. And, well, I'll just read the story. It goes on to say, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service said it will stop supporting the use of the ultralight aircraft to help young whooping cranes migrate from Wisconsin to Florida each fall. Officials announced Friday that this season's ultralight guided flights to the bird's winter home will be the last, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported. The birds are guided to the Chazawiska Wildlife Management Area near Brooksville. Operation Migration, the Canadian-based nonprofit group that has led the migration for 15 years, has opposed the end of ultralights, saying the program has helped cranes survive, but Fish and Wildlife officials, the birds haven't been successfully in producing chicks and raising them in the wild. The effort has spent more than $20 million to establish the flock that's distinct from a larger flock of whooping cranes migrating between Texas and the Gulf Coast of northern Canada. The final decision to end the public-private effort was made in Bardew. Okay. During the meeting of the Whooping Crane Eastern Partnership. According to Peter Fossbeber, yeah, that's definitely a Minnesota name, is the Minnesota-based field office supervisor of Fish and Wildlife Services. Well, I mean, you know what? I think that misguides them anyway, because their natural instinct, they're supposed to be able to do it on their own. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll see. The whooping cranes die off, and then we know who to blame. All right, so in Brooksville, a live oak man was killed. That's a live oak man, not a man made of live oak. A live oak man was killed Saturday in a single vehicle crash in Brooksville. The crash happened at 5:17 p.m. on Heyman Road, just west of Batter Road. The Florida Highway Patrol says Ricky Gates Gardner, 56, was driving a 1998 Toyota Corolla east on Heyman Road when he drove off the road into the South Grass Shoulder. The Corolla hit a concrete culvert and some shrubs before coming to its final resting between a utility pole and the guide wire, trooper said. Gardner died of his injuries at the scene of the crash. Be careful, people. Some crazy shit going on out there. I'm going to save one of the best stories for last. And this is in Trinity, Florida. Officials say several students suffered minor injuries following a school bus crash in Trinity, according to the school district spokesperson, Linda Korb. The bus was carrying 53 students from Seven Springs Middle School. The crash happened Monday after 3 p.m. at the intersection of Little Road and Trinity Boulevard. Pasco County officials say the intersection was closed. Cobb said a replacement bus was on the scene to pick up the students to take them home. From what I see, it looks like the bus was in the turning lane, and this guy who hit the bus head on was not. Well, he wasn't in the right turning lane anyway. This one is just tonight will be chilly but not as cold. St. Petersburg, here's what we know about tonight's weather in the Tampa Bay area. Tonight will be chilly, low in 40s to mid-50s. Clear skies, but some late-night fog is possible. Weather system is developing for Wednesday and Thursday. From what I'm hearing, we're going to get some serious rainstorms coming through the area Wednesday or Thursday, so batten down the hatches. Now, this comes out of Lakeland, Florida. Smoking blamed for Lakeland fire that killed 1 and injured 3. Smoking has been blamed for a fire that killed 1 man and injured 3 in Lakeland Sunday morning. In addition, officials have tentatively identified the man who died as John W. Connolly, 59. An autopsy will be performed Monday to confirm his identity. As officials say, the extent of the burns he suffered has made it difficult to identify him. The fire broke out shortly after 4 p.m. at Buena Vista Manor, an independent living facility. That's an old folks home for those of you that don't know. 5 investigators say the fire which is being blamed on smoking, started in the bedroom of Connolly's unit. Officials say a neighbor who lived in the unit next door pulled the fire alarm, which started the evacuation of the 41 people who lived in the building and alerted emergency responders to the fire. Well, that's one of the main reasons why you don't smoke in bed, because this guy probably fell asleep and his arm fell down and up the place went. Old mattresses will smolder and smolder and smolder, and all it takes is just one little bit of a breeze to go up and off it goes. All right, so on to some sports, which is something I usually don't do, but it looks like we have a deciding factor in the Super Bowl here. It looks like the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers are set to go at it in Super Bowl 50, which should be an interesting game. Now, according to a lot of people that I talked to, not a lot of people, but some people that I talked to today, Denver is going to lose. They're saying that the Panthers or the Jaguars, or where the fuck they're playing, I don't even know. I'll show you how much I pay attention to football. It's just a tough team to beat, so it should be a good game. I'll definitely tune into that and see. All right, so this one is violence in Hernando County schools and the consequences. Hernando's school violence has taken its toll on families across the nation, with dozens of students, faculty, and innocent bystanders losing their lives to the hand of a mentally disturbed individual. What do you mean you just read the whole thing? So why would I skip it? I'm reading the news on the radio. And innocent, according to a report issued by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, between 2000 and 2013, there were at least 160 deadly attacks, resulting in 486 killed and 577 students. Out of those attacks, 39 occurred on school campuses between pre-K and higher education facilities. The most notable of those attacks are at Virginia Polytechnic Institute, where 32 were killed, and Sandy Hook Elementary, where 26 people lost their lives. Of course, we all remember the horrific, cold-blooded murders at Columbia High School, or Columbine High School, where teenager Eric Harris and Dylan Kleberg killed 13 people before taking their own lives. Closer to home, Lecanto, which is north of Hernando County, Lecanto High School student attempted suicide by shooting himself in the head in front of his entire classroom. The incident occurred completely without warning and left students in utter shock over the disturbing incident. Hernando County has experienced its own share of violent threats by students and off-campus. Thankfully, none of these have come to... Okay, I don't even know what the hell that word means, but anyway... come to a head, we'll say. For several years, the news has covered a large number of these threats, which vary in a mode and method. Sometimes a student will call in a bomb threat or threaten to shoot up a school. Other times it may be more personal, like threatening to shoot or stab another student. Whatever the reason, students should know that making any threat of violence will result in serious consequences by the school or even with criminal charges. For example, last week, an altercation between fellow Hernando High School student, 18-year-old Cut Epley, and 18-year-old John Berdovic turned violent after Epley allegedly pointed a firearm Berdovic and held him captive inside his home. The dispute began over a female student that Epley and Berdovic both had sexual relations with. According to officials, during the altercation, Epley demanded that Berdovic show him video evidence of the alleged sexual encounter. It is not known if that video exists. Well, you know what? I don't even want to continue reading this because it's pretty shitty. This will just go to show you where our society is in modern day time, and it's pretty scary. You know, you don't even know if your kids can go to school and be safe. And that's one of the reasons why I have pulled my youngest out of high school, and she's now being homeschooled, because, Jesus, who the hell knows, you know? I mean, you just never know. All right, so moving on, because I got a real important story that I want to go over. What's this here? Spring Hill Fire and Rescue was on the scene of a two-vehicle accident involving a transportation bus where at least one person is complaining of minor injuries. So of course they are. They want to sue somebody. The accident occurred at Deltona Boulevard in the intersection of Dora Street, and there were some road blockages in the southbound lane. Besides the driver, there were no other occupants on board the bus at this time of the crash. Interesting. All right, so next one. And like I said, this final story, I don't know if it's made headlines throughout the nation, but I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. Not this one, the next one. So Land O'Lakes, which is Pasco County, a pedestrian was struck and killed by a street sweeper Saturday after he attempted to cross State Road 54 from US 41. According to officials, 24-year-old Louis Yeager of Brooksville was driving a 2009 Isuzu street sweeper eastbound when the victim, 48-year-old Todd Perrone, stepped into the path of this vehicle. As a result, the street sweeper struck Perrone, which resulted in fatal injuries. Perrone died at the scenes. Alcohol does not seem to have played a factor in the crash, but charges are pending, according to officials. Well, then there's something that officials aren't reporting, and we all know how that goes. Now, this is a story out of Hernando County, Florida. And the original reports went on to go ahead and say that there was a gruesome discovery for first responders on the evening of, let me just get this, scroll back up. What was it, Saturday evening, Michelle, or Friday? Yeah. A lot of people are saying it's a cover-up and there's a rat and all of this shit, but so originally report a gruesome discovery for first responders this evening at Sheriff, and that's again Friday, located the decapitated victim of a single vehicle crash on Heyman Road. At the time of the report, sources said that the victim's head had not been located, prompting several deputies and rescue personnel to search the surrounding area. At the time of the report, the search had yielded negative results. The Florida Highway Patrol was on scene conducting an investigation into the cause of the crash. Damage to the vehicle did not appear to be catastrophic, and the victim was not ejected from the vehicle. And then now the update says, and this was posted 1:25 at about 4:29 p.m. Dr. Kyle Shaw with the District 5 Medical Examiner's Office has confirmed that the victim's head was located inside the vehicle upon further investigation. The cause of death has been ruled decapitation, but the exact means cannot be determined. There is speculation that the victim may have been partially ejected while the vehicle traveled through the tree line. At some point, a branch or other mechanism may have led to the decapitation, and there's no further details about it. Yesterday, let's see, single car crash, blah, 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 the morning, Florida Highway Patrol. Okay, so this morning, the Florida Highway Patrol has identified the victim as 56-year-old Ricky Cates Gardner of Live Oak, Florida. It provided a brief synopsis. I read this already. Gardner was driving his Toyota Corolla on Heyman Road when, for reasons unknown, he traveled off the roadway into a grassy shoulder. The vehicle struck a concrete culvert and continued traveling through the trees and shrubs until it came to rest between a utility pole and a guy wire. And that would be guide wire. to the idiot who wrote this story. News agencies have made several requests to find out how the victim was decapitated and where the victim's head was eventually located, if indeed it has. At this time, officials have denied to comment on those details, and alcohol doesn't appear to be the cause of the crash. I don't know about you guys, but it sounds real fishy. It sounds like a murder cover-up, possibly. But, we'll be the last to know. You can believe that. I got some commercials to play. We'll be right back. You are listening to the one, the only Talk Shit Radio Network. Be right back, folks. Hey, this is Lewis Kennedy with Talk Shit Radio Network. You having trouble with your AC? Is it not cooling down your house enough? Is it cold outside and cold inside? Well, go ahead and give a call to my friend Danielle at AC Magic Heating and Air Conditioning at 352-556-5212. They're located at 13440 Chambord Street, Brooksville, Florida. They can take care of all your needs, and tell them we sent you at Talk Shit Radio Network.
You're the owner or manager of a growing business. Hey, that's great. But to keep growing, you need to find the best new employees available. Finding good employees is nearly impossible, and job posting is expensive. At Catalyst 5, we've developed a fast solution to help you find great employees and save money. In just 5 minutes, you can post your job to hundreds of social media sites and job boards. You'll reach thousands of top quality candidates that can help your business grow. Plus, we even include a free customized mobile site to help manage your job replies in one user-friendly location. And we're 75% less expensive than the major job boards. Call now to sign up for free. Find your next employee right now, free for a limited time by calling now. 800-368-0123. 800-368-0123. 800-368-0123. That's 800-368-0123.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-260-5460. That's 800-260-5460.
All right, welcome back to Talk Shit Radio Network, everyone. Now, I got the microphone down off the stand because I got to turn over to this other computer. I've got some news over here on this computer now as well. Let me move my boots so I can get in here. Whew, I'm fucking tired, man. I got to tell you, not really a long day. It actually went pretty fast, but anyway. All right, so this one comes from, let's see. Excuse me, damn it, man. This one comes from CNN, and it's out of California. A manhunt is underway in California for 3 inmates, including one who is accused of murder and another accused of torture who escaped from Orange County Jail Friday, authorities say. This is a very sophisticated escape. They cut through a 1/4-inch metal plate, Orange County Sheriff Lieutenant Jeff Hollock said Monday. They crawled through unsecured plumbing tunnels to the roof, then cut through steel rebar. They rappelled 4 to 5 stories, some 50 feet high, using sheets, he said. Jonathan Jonathan Tao, 20, was in jail on murder charges. Hassan Nariri, 37, was in jail for allegedly torturing and kidnapping. And Bak Ten Dong, okie dokie, 43, was facing attempted murder charges. Authorities warned that the men are extremely dangerous and asked if anyone has any information about the men, they should call 911 immediately. Well, that's comforting for you California folks that are over there in Orange County or anywhere near it. Nair has a previous conviction for homicide, officials say, at a Monday afternoon press conference. And when pressed on details about the conviction, they declined to give any details. Orange County Lieutenant Dave Sawyer described Nair's most recent arrest by saying that the escapee allegedly attacked the victim in the desert, poured bleach on the person, set the person on fire, and then severed the victim's penis. The victim survived, Sawyer said. Well, I wouldn't want to live after that. Tao is a documented Vietnamese gang member, Sawyer said, and Ten Dong was a Vietnamese gang affiliation, has gang affiliations. An officer who spoke Vietnamese made an appeal in that language for television news crews, imploring the public, to especially anyone in the Vietnamese community, to speak up if they know anything about the escape's whereabouts. Authorities are offering a $50,000 reward in the information leading to the capture of the escaped prisoners. Boy, I tell you what, I knew where they were. If I knew where they were, I'd be collecting me some 50 grand. God knows I could use it right now. All right, so DC's officials, snow total doesn't measure up. All righty. Fresh off an unrelenting snowstorm that brought Washington to its knees. Some inside the Beltway are feeling this week like they got the short end of the stick. Official snow totals, which are kept and maintained by the National Weather Service, are measured in prescribed uniform fashion in wide open areas, i.e. no trees, buildings, cars, etc., that might create a snowdrift or otherwise manipulate how snow falls on the ground. In metropolitan areas where such spaces are scant, those measurements are taken at airports. Over the weekend, two of the Washington three major airports, Dulles International, Baltimore Washington International, recorded more than 29 inches, while the third, Reagan National Airport, recorded 17.8. How is it possible that National, which sits on the banks of the Potomac, particularly in the shadow of Washington's monument, had about half that amount of snow as the other two? Well, because they're like doctors. They're practicing. We all know Washington is famous for fudging numbers and subjective math. But even in a town where climate change is a flashpoint, both sides of the aisle could agree. That sounds fishy. So, what went wrong? Turns out the culprit was reportedly the measuring device, as in it got lost in the snow. Oh, okay. So the National Weather Service requires that snow be measured with what it's called a snowboard. Oh, nice, they snowboard, which is essential at table that the snow falls into. Every 6 hours, the accumulation atop the table is measured and then wiped clean. The total snowfall is the sum of accumulation from those 6-hour intervals. So that'll just tell you how they do that and why there were so many conflicting reports about the snow and all of that kind of good stuff. All right, so everybody knows about the Planned Parenthood situation. Texas grand jury clears Planned Parenthood and indicts its accusers. This is coming from CNN. A Texas investigation into Planned Parenthood on Monday culminated in an indictment. The organization's accusers instead of the group. Harris County District Attorney's Office announced that Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast had been cleared in the 2-month-long investigation, but the grand jury did indict 2 individuals who were involved in making secret recordings of the group that were released to the public to discredit the group, which proves that health services, which provides health services and abortions. David Dandel and Sandra Merritt were indicted for tampering with a government record, a second-degree felony. And Dallenden was also indicted on the court of prohibition of the purchase and sale of human organs, a misdemeanor, according to the Harris County District Attorney. We were called upon to investigate allegations of criminal conduct by Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast, Harris County District Attorney Devon Anderson said in a statement. As I stated at the onset of his investigation, we must go where the evidence leads us. All of the evidence uncovered in the course of the investigation was presented to the grand jury. I respect their decision on this difficult case. That's kind of screwed up when you have to go through such lengths to have an investigation done on somebody, and it just goes to show you where extremists will take things. Next story is on Vice News, and it says head of Gore website pleads guilty in Canadian snuff film trial. Okay. The curious case of Mark Marek and his gory website features a porn star necrophilia and an international manhunt, and it came to an end today with a guilty plea. Mark, owner of Edmonton-based site bestgore.com, pled guilty today to charges of corrupting morals for posting a video of the Luke Magnotta murder. I take full responsibility for any harm that occurred. I admit it is obscene, Marek said in court on Monday, confessing that to the best of his memory, he personally published the grisly video. In his death, in his honor, okay, it has death, it has honor, it has cruelty, it has violence, it has dismemberment, and it has sex. That's fucked up, man. I don't even know what to say. I've checked out that Best Gore website on time to time, just for news to read and stories and shit like that. And some of the shit they post, I gotta be honest with you, I know the internet is quite a broad place to find many, many different things, but, you know, some things just don't need to be on the internet. That's for sure. I really didn't know about this whole trial, and it's quite interesting that he pled guilty to it, but I'll tell you what, you know, he's going to get what he deserves, that's for sure. It doesn't say how much he's going to get or anything like that, but, you know, bestgore.com is a really fucked up website. There's no doubt about it. That's really all I can say about that. I mean, it's really fucked up. One lunatic, one ice pick was uploaded to the site. The video is set in a dimly lit room featuring a stained mattress on the bed. A figure repeatedly stabs a body with an ice pick and a kitchen knife. The video goes on to show the figure dismembering and penetrating the body. Viewers of Best Gore videos, including an attorney in Montana, reported the video to the police. According to the statement of facts filed in Markett's trial, the first comment on the video seemingly underlined the fact that many believe that the video was fake. Was what's with the shitty music? In fact, in the following days, body parts were mailed to the headquarters of the Prime Minister of Canada and to an elementary school. Oh, man. 2 elementary schools. hand and feet were shipped across the country, where matched to June, the rest of his body was discovered outside Magnata's West End Montreal apartment. You know what? If you're going to kill somebody, chop them up, and then have sex with them, you really should consider not recording it. I don't mean to be insensitive in such a story, but it wouldn't be talk shit radio if I was sensitive. So, Magnata was apprehended in Berlin and extradited to Canada in 2014. Very public trial. The former porn star and pinup model was found guilty of first-degree murder, committing an indignity to a body, criminally harassing the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, and other charges. He was sentenced to life in prison. Marek himself, after what police called a complex investigation, was charged with corrupting morals under the rarely used Obscenity Act for allowing the video to be posted. He was arrested and released on bail with several bail conditions, one of which banned him from using the internet. I am being persecuted for political reasons, Marquette told CTV in 2013. That's without a doubt. I have a mountain of evidence to prove it, and more evidence is coming. Best Gore states that it was founded with the belief of the right of the public to be informed, and has since made Marek out to be a political prisoner. There are several lengthy blog posts published by fellow editors of Best Gore, including Kirov, a political prisoner, and politicalprisoner.ca. Was registered to the consent of injustices, visited, blah, 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 blah. He was silenced, but his legacy lives on, the site reads. He believed in the right of the public to be informed and did not hesitate to sacrifice his life and well-being for this right. Let's see if the story goes on to say if the site is even still up. It says Obscenity Act. No, the video that showed potentially a horrific crime, and I had two options: either ignore and risk that another person suffers the same fate, or do something about it and see if we can get that person off the street. And that was the head of bestgore.com. Marek said in one interview that the Obscenity Act under which he was charged is too broadly defined, and I would have to agree with that. The sections of the criminal code of that Marquette pled guilty to date back to the 1940s, when the deaths of two boys were blamed on crime comics. Since its adoption, the law has been rarely used. The most recent high-profile utilization was in 2012. Montreal effects artist Remy Couture was charged under the same law for a video he used to highlight his work. He was found not guilty. Marek often felt the same system wasn't giving him a fair share. In advance of Monday's hearing, he fired his court-appointed defense attorney and defended himself. He initially planned to fight the case, but changed his plea earlier today. Wow. Let me see. I want to read on real quick. Sentencing put forward by Marquette. Prosecution. He will serve 6-month conditional sentence along with 3 months of house arrest and 30 hours of community service. Satterman added that if Marquette fails to follow the sentence, retribution by the Crown will be swift. What are they going to do? Chop his head off? Off with his head! Off with his head! Oh no, that's only in the Mad Hatter and all them. If you breach fundamental conditions of the sentence, I will drag you back into court and you will go to jail. All right. Well, I don't know if I particularly agree with this, because we do have the right to inform the public, but I mean, let's face it, people. Morally, should you post a story of a real... that's just disgusting, man. You know? Killed the body, killed the person, decapitated them, cut off the hands, and then had sex with them? Come on. That's a little bad. So here's one that kind of hits home for everybody. And it's a new virus that has been found. The Zika virus is spreading through the Americas very quickly. World Health Organization has warned that the mosquito-borne Zika virus, which has been linked to abnormal births, is likely to spread to all countries in the Americas except Canada and Chile. The warning comes amid evidence of possible link between the Zika and the increasing number of babies born with abnormally small heads in Brazil. At the same time, evidence accumulates that the virus is advancing through the region. It just goes to show you that you're not safe, not even from a mosquito bite anymore. Got about 3 minutes left. I do have 2 more commercials to put up, so I'll save those to the end. I want to thank everybody for listening. I had my drug and alcohol course today. I think I got 11 more of those to do, and 3 more months as of February something, I don't even know, of probation. I'm really looking forward to getting off probation and getting back out there with my cameras and doing what I do best, and that's making sure that the police are doing their job correctly. It should be interesting. I do believe I locked down the Gasparilla thing. I haven't gotten to my email to check and see. I've been emailing back and forth with this gentleman who's hiring me for the event, and apparently this is an event coordinator, so this might actually be a really big thing, because if I do a good job for this, he does this quite a bit. So I'd like to know why he's hiring me, or either that or everybody just wanted to hang out at Gasparilla and get shit-faced this year. We got more shit to come. I've got Regulate Florida Radio. I've got to get with Michael Minardi, find out when him and I are going to lock that down. And we're going to keep bringing you the shit. It's Talk Shit Radio Network, everyone. I appreciate everybody listening. I got to get these commercials up. Love yous all, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too. Call right now. Operators are standing by. 800-506-8319. 800-506-8319. 800-506-8319. That's 800-506-8319. Investing is a long-term process. How many times can you think of in the last decade that the stock market has destroyed retirement funds for people just like you and me? For your existing IRA, you need the security that gold has provided for centuries. Remember, gold has never been worth zero. Capital Gold would like to introduce you to the Home Storage Gold IRA. It's a self-directed IRA set up with all the protection and tax benefits of an LLC. But the big difference in this IRA is you invest in gold and you hold it in your possession. You can't do that with stocks. That's security. You can transfer any type of IRA hassle-free in days. Please call right now and learn more, and we'll waive the $500 setup fee and give you a free safe to store your gold. Call 800-281-4224. 800-281-4224. 800-281-4224. That's 800-281-4224.